What's up, guys? This is Evan, the intern, Skorepa, here at Chicago Music Exchange. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Teenage Engineering OPZ, or OPZ for you technical folks out there. Unlike most electric guitars, the OPZ is very small, has a lot of buttons, and is not actually an electric guitar at all. Right out the box, we see you slide it out. We have, of course, the OPZ itself. Very small, very gray, very modern and sleek looking. We got a cheat sheet. This will get you up and running super quickly, super informative. USB Type-C charging cable. You can also connect it to the computer and load in new patches or new sounds. You can do a lot with the USB Type-C cable. So that's what's in the box. We're gonna get this thing plugged in and see how it sounds. Thank you. The power switch and volume knob is on the side. It's this little yellow guy here, so we're gonna go ahead and turn that on. We're gonna get a really nice little chime. So going from top to bottom, left to right, up here in the top left corner, you have your four kind of global navigation buttons. This P button is for your projects. You select different projects or different patterns. The two little bars here are your mixer. This guy that looks like a metronome is in fact your metronome. And this guy right here is your project button. The OPZ can control animations. You can set up custom light shows with it. It's super powerful. So that button will give you access to all that functionality. In the top right corner, you have four different colored dials here. They control everything from synthesizer, attack, decay, sustain, and release, to LFOs on the synthesizer, to metronome, BPM, and swing. There's a ton of different tweakable parameters with these four dials. Top row here, you have your 16-step sequencer. That's kind of the main framework of how you're going to be making everything on the OPZ. These bottom two rows are set up as a keyboard. That's how you play your synths. That's how you pick your drum samples. You can also control effects with these bottom rows here. On the left, you have your instrument select button, and then you have your record, play, and stop buttons. And then you have two nudge buttons that allow you to kind of slip the grid if you want. And then this guy allows you to select your effects. Also on the bottom here, we have a touch-sensitive pitch bender. It's really small, but it's really accurate and allows you to get really articulate bends in with all your synthesizers. Finally, on the bottom here, we have a Bluetooth connect button. This is how you connect the OPZ to the iOS app. It's not 100% necessary to use with the OPZ, but it is super, super helpful starting out. All right, we're just gonna open up the OPZ app on our trusty iPhone here and see what it can do for us. All right, so open the app. You wanna hit devices, and then this is where that Bluetooth sync button comes in handy. You wanna hit that and hit scan. It should come up there, OPZ. And connect. You'll want to scroll over to OPZ, so that's where you actually see all of your controls and you get basically a functioning screen for the OPZ. So the first thing I like to do when making a beat on the OPZ is start with just a super basic kick track. So I'm going to select my kick instrument. So in order to do that, hold the instrument select button and then select the first button to the right of the instrument select button, which is the kick. There are four different banks of kicks to choose from, with every key on the keyboard representing a different one-shot sample. Let's do this one. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw in a basic kick here. Cool. We're gonna make a dance song today, so I'm gonna make sure the metronome is set at 120 BPM. So in order to do that, I'm gonna select or hold down the metronome button here at the top, and then adjust the green dial here. So it's already at 120, that's the perfect BPM for dance songs, so we're gonna keep it right at 120. Next, let's throw in a hi-hat. So I'm gonna hold the instrument select button, select my hi-hat. Ooh. If you wanna record something live instead of doing a step sequence, you can hold down the record button and just manually play whatever sample or the synth that you want. It works super well for laying down synth lines or bass lines or whatever, so I'm gonna do this. Okay, so let's add in some snares here. This is actually a clap. So let's add in a clap. And then we'll add in a couple snares. We'll just kind of throw those randomly in the grid, see what we can get. We'll go ahead and add in our bass line now. So with the synthesizers and the bass synthesizers, if you hold down the instrument select button, the numbered keys actually represent different synthesizer engines, where the bottom dotted keys represent different presets. So with the bass synth, we have 6 different synthesizer engines, each with about 4 or 5 different presets. So next I'm going to add in just a little bit of an arpeggio. They're super easy and it makes every song sound a little bit more interesting. So we're going to hold the instrument select button, and then these 3 diagonal dots are the arpeggios. Finally, let's add in just a polyphonic synth for chords, a nice little pad in the background. So we're going to hold the instrument select, and then the CH is the chord synth or polyphonic synth. The OPZ is super geared towards live performances, so now that we have our sequence down, we're going to add in some live effects over it. There's a ton of different amazing effects that do a whole bunch of different things. You can layer multiple effects on top of each other, and if you're using the app as kind of your guiding screen, you get a nice little animation telling what each effect does. So we're going to start the sequence up, and then we're going to throw some effects on it and have some fun. And there you have it. That's a super basic sequence / dance song on the Teenage Engineering OPZ.